My son stood up at brunch and said, "I don't want your loser last name anymore. My new dad says you're a real man." So I handed him papers and said, "Sign here." 1 week later, the trust lawyer called my ex. "Ma'am, your son just forfeited his entire $2.3 million inheritance. My 16-year-old son publicly disowned me at a charity gala, so I let him sign away the one thing he didn't know existed. What followed destroyed 3 lives in ways nobody saw coming. It happened at the Children's Hospital Foundation Gala, where my family had been platinum sponsors for 23 years. My ex-wife Diane was there with her new husband Marcus, a cardiac surgeon who'd been poisoning my relationship with our son Trevor for 18 months. Trevor approached the microphone during open testimonials. He was supposed to thank donors. Instead, he announced, "I want to publicly thank the man who taught me what real success looks like. Marcus Chen isn't my biological father, but he's shown me more in 18 months than Jeff Collins ever could. So tonight, I'm legally changing my last name to Chen. The Collins name represents mediocrity, and I'm done carrying it." The ballroom went silent. Diane was crying proud tears. Marcus stood with his hand on Trevor's shoulder, looking like he just won the Super Bowl. I walked up to the stage, reached into my jacket, and placed an envelope on the podium. "If you're serious, sign these. Make it official right now." Trevor didn't even open the envelope, just grabbed a pen, signed with an aggressive flourish, and handed it back. "Done. I'm not your son anymore." I took the papers and said into the microphone, "Noted. Congratulations on your new family." Then I left while phones recorded everything. What nobody knew, what I discovered 4 months earlier, was that Marcus Chen wasn't a cardiac surgeon at all. He was a surgical technician fired from 3 hospitals for forging credentials. I found out when I ran into Dr. Patricia Rodriguez at a conference. She showed me a medical board investigation report. He's been investigated twice for impersonating a physician, never completed medical school but tells everyone he's a surgeon. Marcus drove a leased BMW with fake MD plates, had business cards printed with credentials he never earned. He was drowning in $300,000 of debt from a failed startup and gambling losses. He'd targeted Diane specifically because he thought I was wealthy. What Diane didn't know was that my grandfather had established a trust with one specific clause. Any descendant who voluntarily renounces the Collins name forfeits all inheritance rights permanently. The trust held controlling shares in Collins Biomedical Supply, a company my grandfather founded that supplies surgical equipment to hospitals nationwide. Trevor's signature didn't just forfeit money, it forfeited 51% ownership of a company valued at $47 million. Monday morning, my attorney filed the renunciation. By Wednesday, Trevor's name was removed from all corporate documents. Friday afternoon, the medical board raided Marcus's office. My attorney had anonymously submitted the evidence. Marcus was arrested at the hospital in front of colleagues and patients. The news ran it. "Fake surgeon arrested after 6-year fraud scheme." Diane called me that night, hysterical. "Did you do this?" "I supply surgical equipment, Diane." Maybe someone who cared about patient safety reported him. What I didn't tell her, I'd also sent evidence to the 3 hospitals where he'd been fired. Each immediately filed civil lawsuits. Trevor called me 2 days later. "Dad, something's wrong with my college fund. It says access denied. You're not my son anymore, remember? You're a Chen now." "But that's just a name. The money's still mine. Read the trust documents I gave you, the ones you signed without reading." I heard him frantically shuffling papers, then silence. Then, "This can't be legal. You're 16. California law allows it. Your mother consented by not stopping you. The trust clause has existed since 1971. Everything's legal. But the company shares are no longer yours. You voluntarily forfeited them in front of 300 witnesses." Marcus pleaded guilty to 5 counts, 18 months in prison, $200,000 in fines, permanent healthcare ban. Trevor got accepted to Stanford pre-med, full tuition, $82,000 annually. He'd been counting on the trust fund. He called me at 2 a.m. crying, "Dad, please, I made a mistake. I was 16 and stupid. Please don't let my entire future end because of one signature." I let him finish. "You didn't just sign away money, Trevor. You signed away the Collins legacy that took 3 generations to build. You stood in front of 300 people and called my name mediocre. You chose a fraud over your actual father. But Stanford, you should have thought about that before you signed." I hung up.